Hi, people of the world watching vehicle reviews on the internet. Welcome to this, the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester Sport. Today I'm going to get this cousin Gump up in the air. We're gonna nerd out in the tech specs, see how it is constructed, what all has changed from the SK generation, and then go take it off-road and see what it can do. Oh, hell yeah! Somebody took this thing off-road already. Awesome. As far as towing goes, this one does not have a receiver, but technically it could tow 1,500 pounds. Aha! So the entire area within this exhaust finisher and the lower portion down here around the other exhaust finisher, right here along this seam, this portion just comes off with these exhaust finishers, meaning that they could offer this with dual openings for dual exhaust, which from a manufacturing standpoint wouldn't make much sense to add a bunch of cost to do two separate pieces that are removable versus just one giant bumper cover that is universal, which means that this is likely designed to have an optional dual exhaust, which they usually only do on turbo models. Out back, the Forester Sport utilizes an all-steel in construction double wishbone rear suspension configuration with a steel subframe and a weird looking vibration dampener thing. And in the center of it is still Subaru's R160 open type rear differential with a fin to aluminum diff cover with a 3.7 final drive ratio. Subaru Showa. Paired with a set of Subaru Showa coilover rear dampers. Wow, that is rather thin-walled right there where the lower arm mounts to the rear subframe. Rear anti-sway bar, which is now mounted in front of the subframe rather than bolted to the back of it. Measures in at approximately 16 millimeter in diameter. Aluminum rear knuckle, which appears very much the same as the SK generation. It changed drastically from SJ. The rear diff crossmember is aluminum now. That was steel on the SK generation I reviewed. New for 2025, this is now the 6th generation of the Subaru Forester, chassis code SL. Some stuff does carry forward from the SK generation. This sport model is in the middle of the model lineup weight-wise, weighing in at 3,611 pounds. Plastique. Oh, they've resorted to the hairy cardboard. They gave in to peer pressure from journalists. Still a single little resonator here in the center of the exhaust with the mid-pipe. All stainless, measuring in at 63 millimeter in diameter, which is about 2.5 inch SAE. As far as the transmission goes, all the Foresters come standard with the TR580 Lineartronic chain-based CVT. It has a maximum torque input of 250 Newton meters, which is equivalent to 184 pound-feet. And for 2025, there were some revisions made to the CVT specifically to improve its off-road capability, which I suspect is a lot of what they did for the Wilderness model. That is paired to an active torque split symmetrical all-wheel drive system, utilizes an electronic continuously variable hydraulic transfer clutch. It does have torque vectoring, but that is done via the braking system left to right, and up front it has another open type differential. That's not bad. It actually looks a little bit more spacious than the SJ, just a hair. The side over by the J pipe is the only one that is a little bit tight, but not terrible. Up front, the SL generation Forester utilizes an all-steel in construction McPherson strut with lower L-arm front suspension, cast iron front knuckle, again with another Subaru coilover front damper. Front anti-sway bar measures in at approximately 24 millimeter in diameter. So it's got a steel oil pan and a nice access for draining your oil through the skid plate. Nice beefy thick plastic skid plate. It's not metal, but this is not their dedicated off-road model. I'm just glad they didn't use hairy cardboard. It's got like a honeycomb pattern, possibly for strength. Time for the braking test. Nothing behind me. Ready, set, go. Oh, wow. Holy crap. Oh, wow. Holy shit. Oh wow, that was impressive. That was super short stopping distance. I did not expect that. Quite a bit of nosedive, tiny tiny shimmy, but it was still smooth and controllable and safe. But geez, that was super short stopping distance. That braking was just made possible thanks to a 2-piston caliper with a 315mm or 12.4-inch front rotor. The wheels, which are made in Japan by Enki, painted in this metallic brown bronze, are a 19 by 7.5 with a positive 48mm offset, wrapped in a 235/50 19-inch Bridgestone Turanza EL450 tire. Styling aside, I'm happy that Subaru still sources their wheels from a reputable wheel company made in Japan rather than outsourcing to a cheap made in elsewhere one. Are you plastic? Yep. Good job, Subaru. A little bit of ducting into the front of the wheel well here. You can see here's some active grille shutters in front of the AC condenser behind the front bumper. LED projector fog light and a Shapeagon. Some more of that metallic brown bronze and texturation on the side sill area. Yep, that's hairy cardboard. Can already tell by how dirty it is. Look at oof. Out back, you get a single piston caliper with an 11.8-inch or 300mm rotor. The wheel and tire, same size as you get up front. In the name of the science, I'm now going to give it the beans. Bolstering assessment. Commence. You know what? It does have a little, I was shaking the vehicle. It does have a little bit of bolstering to these seats, and they're slippery too, so that says even more about them. The seats are heated. They're like an all-weather, easy to clean surface, but there's no perforation, so it seems like it'd be an ass sweat magnet. Well, that's weird. They have a ass bag. There's an SRS airbag on the butt cushion. It's an ass bag. This car has ass bags. As far as drive modes go, I have intelligent and sport sharp. I can also slap it over, where you have some flappy paddles in the back of the steering wheel to simulate shifts with the CVT. As far as traction control goes, you have to go into the menu system. There's no physical button anywhere. So if I touch this little picture of a Impreza, I'm guessing, it's not a Forester, I could then disable my vehicle dynamic control. In sport sharp, ready, see what this thing can do. Go. Little bit of a launch, hesitated, there we go. Is it gonna fake shift? No, good job. It's not fake shifting. Peak power, that's good. Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Subaru really knows how to strike a chord with that one. It'll make you rage put your seatbelt on with a quickness. It's very on brand for Subaru to have a new model come out and have a lot of people criticize the styling. Some people are saying this new SL generation looks like a Subaru Ford Forester, or someone bought their Forester on Temu. And any idiot can openly criticize something, but it takes a special type of idiot to provide a solution in their YouTube car review. And this is my solution to your problem. No more Subaru Ford Forester. You simply paint the portion of the grille between the headlight and the grille itself, body color, and that's it. I also would probably do the inserts of the grille satin black to give some contrast from the gloss black right here. Pop in the hood. That's pretty light. No hood struts though. My Forester came with hood struts brand new. Underneath the hood of the 2025 Subaru Forester Sport is the tried and true FB25DI, which is an all aluminum, naturally aspirated 4-cam flat 4-cylinder that produces 180 horsepower at 5,800 RPM and 178 pound-feet of torque at 3,700 RPM. There's been some minor tweaks and revisions to this engine for the new SL generation, and sadly, this is the only option you get. There is no Turbo XT available for the SL gen. There is supposedly a hybrid coming next year though. Not a lot has changed under the hood here for the SL generation. In my opinion, that was the smartest move possible. Just tweak and revise and make better what you already have since it works. Plastic intake manifold. Looks like the tumble generator is actually in a plastic housing as well, which would help a lot with heat soak. Got a foam fingers width right here in front of the belts between the radiator fan. Not bad. Oh man, I just dropped it down in there. Oh no, it's really down in there now. Oil filter right up here on top, easy to do oil changes. AC compressor up on top, easy to access. Alternator up on top, easy to access. You can see it does have a plastic valve cover. Can I get my foam finger in between it and the frame rail? Yep. Digging in a little bit deeper on this 2498cc flat 4, it has a 94 by 90 millimeter bore and stroke with a 12.0 to 1 compression ratio. Does employ Subaru's dual AVCS, active variable valve timing on both intake and exhaust cams, as well as tumble generators. And this is a direct fuel injection engine only, no port injection to keep the back of the intake valves clean. There's a little stamped steel strut tower brace incorporated into the firewall. It ties into the strut towers. There's a mysterious cavity inside the driver fender well by the battery. You could hide things or cook a burrito. Yep, there's plenty of room for an intercooler to fit up above that intake. It might be dumb wishful thinking to hope this, but I really hope they bring back a Forester XT for this generation. I'll make up for losing the legacy. No, it won't. Time for a Rally Special Stage 2.0. Now, I'm gonna do as best as I can with this. This is the sport model, not a wilderness, so it's got 19-inch wheels with not a lot of sidewall protection of the 50 series tire and the Turanzas as well. As far as off-road modes go, I can select X mode, and then I have snow and dirt and deep snow and mud. Snow and dirt automatically locks the traction control to on. Deep snow and mud automatically locks vehicle dynamic controller to off. So I'm gonna keep it normal. I'm gonna disable vehicle dynamic control, and I am going to use Sport Sharp and manual mode. This is what I've tested to be the optimal way to do this Rally Special Stage. So let's see what this thing can do. Ready? Go. All right. A little bit of a delay. Smooth. The robots are still intervening a little bit. Just a little bit though. Oh yeah, the suspension is not valved for anything serious, so I'm gonna be a little gentle right here. I don't want to abuse this thing. Get it! And that shifts automatically for you. I didn't just do that, so the manual mode is kind of a manual mode. Well, FB doesn't sound too bad. Ah, on D-Cell you get a little bit of that burble. It's not bad actually. It's putting the power down. It's a little bit flickable. Actually got to flick a little bit right there at the ass end. Wow. Actually, geez. This thing does have the WRX's steering rack, the aluminum one. Alright, that is really serious, sharp handling right there. It is doing exactly what I want it to, even on these highway tires. That's impressive. Really good steering feedback. Nice. A little bit of intervening from the robots. Pretty much just keep it in one gear. I don't even really need to shift. Man, I wish this wasn't as rough of a Rally Special stage, because with these 19s I can't really send it that hard. Go easy through this section. The biggest thing that's standing out right now is the chassis tuning on this new SL generation. Man, if they did make an XT version of this, or STI version, and that's it. Excellent, excellent in the steering department and the overall feedback. Now, as far as the hill climb goes, I found a new one that I think is perfect for testing crossover and small SUVs. It's got some articulation to it and kind of sharp breakover at the top, but it's super slippery sand silt and it's hard packed. So it's gonna be a challenge, especially on these tires. I'm going to put my X mode into, we'll try snow and dirt first, since that does have the stability traction control engaged. On the screen is the approach, departure, and breakover angles. This thing's got a little over 8.5 inches of ground clearance, which is actually fairly decent. I'm not letting any air out of the tires. I don't want to give this any unfair advantages, leaving at the standard inflation. No run up, real slow, see what it can do. Okay, I got wheels off the ground here. It's thinking. Yeah, Subaru! It did it! It absolutely did it! It was sketchy coming over the top side of it, but it didn't bottom out, it didn't high center, nothing. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm impressed. It might not look like much on camera, but this is probably above what people would expect a Forester to be able to go through. This is kind of crazy. All right, going back down, I don't have a front-facing camera. Okay, this is kind of challenging going back down. How's my line?
Good, straight. Yep.
All right. Going back down, I do have a downhill assist. See a little green icon on the dash. A little sketch. Yep, there you go. Robots are loud on this one, jeez. Very stable though, very stable, not bad. The taillights have red plastic built into the inside of them. There's quite a bit going on inside there. As far as the back goes, little Harman Kardon thumpy boy. Well, this texture is kind of neat right here. It should hide scratches fairly well. Also, the little dimpling helps with that. The one thing that stands out the most about this is how close you can actually get. There's not much back bumper to it. It's very slim, so there's not a lot of areas for you to scratch the hell out of this. Underneath here is a bunch of foam license plate thing. Oh, the cover, that was removed. Weird. That goes over there like that. The mat is kind of thin compared to how it used to be. Blah, 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 blah. Going down. Oh, neat, it says Subaru underneath. I can't show you, too late, sorry. Triple map pockets, and it's got a stitch, so you can put your smartphone on one. Both sides. Those are your skis. Both of them. It's got that massive hole in the roof. USB-C, USB old school. It's a blank plug for it looks like possibly heated seats in the touring model, maybe. Aha. Yeah, they do. I'm glad they didn't change that. The little warning label for ET riding in your backpack. Stick, the back is hairy so it sticks. The little LED map lights in the backpack. It's the same fabric on the door cards back here. It absolutely still looks like a Subaru in here. You can definitely recognize what type of vehicle it is as soon as you hop in. The dash has this little dimpled golf ball pattern. It's soft fabric, and down below, satin finish on the bronze. That actually looks like bronze. The wheels look like kind of root beer metallic. I do like the door cards with this dark brown cloth on it, but it smells a little strange. The floor mats have a matching bronze sport logo. Wireless phone charger, or a way to teleport your penguins to another dimension. If any of you would like to own this exact penguin that was used in this car review, the squished one, he will be for sale listed on my website, link below. They decided not to reinvent the wheel with the gauge cluster, just old school traditional analog gauges with a little digital display in the center. Do the brake lights actually work in here? They do! Could make an entire video alone just on the safety features. It's got all kinds of robot stuff. Is the sunglass holder cheap? Oh no, they put a little gear on there. Fancy. And that's got some padding-ish. As far as the infotainment system goes, it's typical Subaru Starlink. It's fairly easy and self-explanatory to use. The Harman Kardon sound system has excellent clear highs, and the bass is not bad either. I have a screen with off-road telemetry that I didn't even know about when I was off-roading, and I feel like an idiot now, but it's alright. That's got some heft to it. It's just a big plastic bucket that you could put some bucket stuff in. I don't know when Subaru started doing this, but there's a seagull on the glass. As far as the things that I don't like about this new generation of Forester, excluding styling, because that's just personal preference. And the first is the safety systems are very aggressive, as they are with most Subarus, because they focus on making safe vehicles. But sometimes those robots just think they know better than you, and they're probably saving your life, but sometimes they're just a little bit like a helicopter parent. The lack of powertrain options, which they will be addressing when the hybrid version comes out, is kind of a downside because I just miss having a performance version of the Forester. Forester XT would be nice, and Japan had the Forester STI. It would be amazing if America got a Forester STI, but then again, we don't even get a regular STI, so that's just wishful thinking. The belt line in the front of this thing when you're driving it is super low, so you can see the apexes of corners, and it's just got great visibility overall, which really stood out. And I normally don't mention typical journalist things because I'm not a journalist and I don't speak well. As far as fuel economy goes, it's not bad. It does use a front-wheel drive bias on the highway to help sip fuel, and there is a hybrid version coming again, so if that's what you're looking for, then just wait for the hybrid. As someone that has owned a Forester XT now almost an entire decade and has been a fan of these weird little lifted rally wagons since they first debuted in the late 90s, the SL generation, it's growing on me, as is a lot of other things of Subarus. I hated the Hawkeye STI when it first came out, and now it's one of my favorite generations. Same with the hatchback STI. Love the styling of those now. So maybe the same thing will happen to the styling of this. It is now time to give this Gump some scores. Starting with the bean score, the assessment of feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And it is getting a rating of, followed by the cookie score, assessment of value, and as this one is equipped at about 37 grand, gets a rating of. Next is the wrench score, assessment of ease of maintenance, and it earns a rating of. I'm gonna glue that thing. Next is the meatball score, the assessment of off-road capabilities, and the new Forester gets a rating of. And this isn't even the wilderness. This isn't supposed to be the off-road model. Lastly is the penguin score, the assessment on how much I personally like a vehicle, and this Gump gets a rating of. I will admit 100%, when I saw this was coming in for a review, I wanted to hate it. I was pissed that they stopped selling the XT, that they discontinued the manual transmission, and the styling, you can say what you will about this generation, but the parts that matter and the way I felt after driving it, they didn't ruin the Forester, they didn't. So it is what it is, I guess. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see you soon with another. Bye.